Guys, so today is going to be a good old-fashioned haul. I have been filming all afternoon reviews of products and my brain is kind of shot from a review process perspective, but I have picked up a whole bunch of new makeup that I really want to start putting to the test and playing with and get it out of this giant box and into kind of my system for testing new makeup. And in order to do that, I need to haul it for you guys because that is kind of my preferred methodology. I like to show you everything I've recently purchased and then put it into my little review bins over here and then come back in 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long it takes me to really get a firm opinion on all of these products, and then I'll report back out. The hair is up, the lipstick is off, the lip balm is on, and we have a glass of rosé because once again, this is probably about 4 or 5 hours into filming. I have a giant box of stuff here. That's what this boils down to. I went a little ham at Ulta. I took advantage of some sales going on at BH Cosmetics online. I've picked up a few things on Amazon, but most of this comes from Ulta because they sent out a 20% off coupon a few weeks back. I had already saved up my 1,200 points, and so you have $125 to spend at Ulta when you do that, plus a 20% off coupon. It is magical. It feels like you are getting so much makeup for free. It is phenomenal. So hopefully that appeals to you guys. Let's go ahead and get into this haul. Seems to be at the top of my box now is a lot of these bigger eyeshadow palettes, so let's just grab these. One thing that I picked up because I saw a little display at my local Ulta when I was redeeming my 1,200 points is the Dominique Cosmetics. This is her Latte palette. I have heard nothing but lovely things about this, so I was super curious when I saw this in stores. I think the packaging is really pretty on this. It's got a nice size mirror at the top. You've got 8 matte shades and 3 shimmer shades. The thing that really threw me over the edge for trying this palette was 2 shades in particular. One, this purpley shade down here. Purples are notoriously hard to manage, and this one is like insanely pigmented, like whoop. And then the other shade that completely blew me away is this sort of dirty bronze, antique-y bronze color down here. This is the shade Espresso. This feels, to my finger, a lot like the Pat McGrath Mothership Metallics. So that incredibly intense Pat McGrath shadow that everyone was losing their mind over, that is what that feels like. I will tell you, yesterday I did a look with this all over my lid. Not only did it last all day, but it was so pretty. I believe I took pictures of that. I will insert it here so you guys can see it. So today I have this sort of lighter warm brown through my crease, this kind of in my brow bone, and then I've got this purpley shade in the outer corner of my eye look, and then all over my lid is a different product that we'll talk about here in a minute. But first impressions, guys, is that I think this is a lovely palette. I can see why people are so excited by it. Let's grab this because this is what is up next. So Ulta Beauty has released, as part of their Ulta collection, some new products, and there's some really interesting products in these new releases, and this one caught my eye. So this is their Lustrous Foil Eyeshadow. I got the shade Silver Leaf. It looked like a really pretty champagne-y silver. That is what is all over my lid right now. This formula is interesting to me. So this reminds me of the Stila Magnificent Metal Foil Finish shadows that used to be out. Ulta doesn't carry those anymore. Almost like a loose pigment, but it's like a loose metallic pigment. So I feel like this is one of those ones where I did a couple of things to get it on my lids today. First, I put down NYX glitter glue because I knew this was going to need some sort of sticky base to it. And then I put this over the top with my finger and then blended it out with a wet brush because I felt like it was going to need both the blending with a brush as well as the wetness of that brush to kind of move the product around. Having done that, I felt like it was kind of messy. I did my eyes first so I could wipe off any glitter fallout. There was glittery metallic fallout, so definitely an eyes first kind of thing. Having played with this, I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those ones where it's a little bit better to maybe put this on a palette or like on the back of a candle top like I like to do. I copied that from that Taylor. I literally just have a lid from a Bath and Body Works candle. It's metallic, or it's metal rather, and I just will mix foundations on there. But I feel like this one would be better if you put a little bit on the back there, added some sort of like Fix Plus or some other mixing medium, and then applied it to your lids with a brush. I'm still playing around with this. All that to say, this is one of the most high shine, like crazy metallic colors I have ever put on my eyes. Like it's breathtakingly gorgeous, but it definitely is not going to be like the easiest thing in the world to apply. I'm kind of okay with that though, because I also feel like it is so unique and so intense and so different. Enjoying playing with this. I will have to keep you posted on the best application method because I feel like I didn't quite have the best application method today. One palette that I added to my Ulta cart after my big order that's kind of been sitting in my Ulta cart for a while is a new Maybelline City Midi palette. I actually ended up ordering this on Amazon because it was $7.99 on Amazon, 2-day free shipping, versus $9.99 at Ulta, and then I didn't have enough to get free shipping. So this is their new Blushed Avenue City Mini palette, and the colors in here just completely called to me. It is 4 matte shades and 2 shimmer shades. They look like that metallic shimmer shade that I really like versus that thin sort of chunky glittery shade. So far from swatching it, the mattes feel lovely. I do like the mattes historically in these City Mini palettes. This one just called to me with the purples, and I feel like there's some really pretty rose gold shades in here. So I am excited to try this one on the eyeballs and let you know how I feel about it. Let's get through these 2 BH Cosmetics palettes. So over 4th of July, there was a BH Cosmetics huge sale. This is a newer palette for them. This is the Festival Weekend palette. I keep seeing people who make beautiful looks out of this. I've heard, I think it's both Raw Beauty Christie and Kathleen Lights talk about how much they love this. Like I said, I've not put this on my eyeballs yet, but I feel like this one is just going to be a lot of fun to play with, and it seems like the quality is there. I didn't swatch any of these and think, that one seems iffy. It'll be a different story when it goes on my eyeballs, but I'm excited. This will be fun. The other palette that I broke down and got is this giant freaking Zodiac palette. Like, it's enormous, so storage of this is going to be a pain in my rear end, but and that's kind of why I held off on getting it. But ultimately, I felt like I had to have it. Like, I really like the design of it. It has a mirror at the top as well. You've got these baked metallic shades around the outside and then an inner ring of matte shades. Unfortunately, this teal shade here, Aries, arrived broken. And my first surprise with this palette was these are baked eyeshadows on the outside. So I've played with a lot of good baked eyeshadows and a lot of crap baked eyeshadows, but I feel like I know the texture of a baked eyeshadow. This does not feel like the normal texture of a baked eyeshadow. This is incredibly foiled, almost thick feeling to the touch. And then the thing that really surprised me was that I felt like I was going to have to get some alcohol to kind of press this shade back together. No, there's enough sort of binding agents or dimethicones or whatever it is that they put in eyeshadows to kind of give it that thick, foiled, creamy feel even when they're powdered. I was able to just kind of press this down in with my finger and it kind of all came back together. So this ring of baked shadows, totally shocking, super foiled. The mattes feel really nice and creamy, super pigmented. I'm excited to play around with this one. Okay, so I picked up the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer. I was standing in the Ulta store and I was looking at this, and then I was also looking at the updated packaging for the new Tarte concealer. What is that? The Amazonian Clay Concealer. I don't know. It's the one that was in the squeezy tube and then moved to the wand. It's very thick. It looks like it's cosmetics. I just felt like even though I was seeing reviews from people saying that they are really enjoying it and that wand applicator is changing how easy it is to put it on and blend it out, I don't know. At the end of the day, I was just more interested in trying the Too Faced new concealer. So I did pick up the shade Snow. I think it seems like a nice shade. I did use it for the first time yesterday and I really did enjoy it. I felt like it was a little creamier and a little more hydrating than my Tarte Shape Tape, and it might not be quite Shape Tape levels of coverage, but I also felt like it was almost full coverage. You know, this is one day, right? I can't really give you a solid review after using it once, but I'm excited by it. I also am shocked that you're getting a half a fluid ounce of product in here. I mean, this is a big freaking concealer, so yeah, I'm excited to play with this. So back to BH Cosmetics. This is something I saw on their website that I didn't even know had launched. This is a liquid eyeshadow. So they had a bunch of interesting shades, some of which I thought looked pretty comparable to things I had tried before. But this sort of bluish aqua gold shifting shade just totally caught my eye. This is the shade Gnarly. I think it's really pretty looking. From swiping it on the back of my hand, I feel like it is going to be super high pigmented. I will say, having put this on the back of my hand, I definitely feel like it's gonna look blue and then shift to a really stunning gold as well. Like the shift in this is really intense. So I'm excited to play with this on my eyeballs. I feel like there's going to be some colorful looks in my near future. The other thing I had never seen from BH Cosmetics is something called a Diamond Dazzler. So packaging is really pretty. I mean, packaging of this feels like it'd be like a high-end product, to be totally honest. So beautiful little box it comes in, and then the container itself is gorgeous. So it's an acrylic base, but nice heavy acrylic. It's got a beautiful gold embossed BH Cosmetics on the top. It's got an interesting sort of stopper. So if you've seen face powders that kind of have a stopper that press things down, that is what is in this lid here. And then you've got a traditional sifter, so not a net sifter. So, you know, it's a little confusing because typically with these sifter-like products, I would tap them out on the cap and then pick them up with a brush or my finger. I don't feel like you can do that with this cap because you've got a surface area here and then kind of a well around the outside. So it's definitely doing a good job of holding product in place, so I'm not getting tons of loose pigment like sticking out all over the place. But I feel like you're going to have to tap this onto something else to then apply it to your eye. I've not put this on my eye yet, but I will tell you this shade is really cool. What attracted me to this was that the description was that it was like a gold silver combination. And I thought, well, that's cool. Feels really smooth on my hand. It really seems easy to blend out. It's not chunky feeling. It doesn't have any glitter in it. It just seems to be a pigment, and it really is like, seems to be an even blend of a gold and a silver shadow. So you're getting kind of this like antique gold shade as a result. So unique color, cool packaging. I don't know. I'm excited to play with this guy. Let's get this big box out of the way. So one skincare item I bought is actually this little trio. So there's a new Korean brand at Ulta called Mamonde. I could be butchering that. So the price point on these is definitely higher. This sits over with the luxury skincare section. There's an end cap in my store. It's mostly skincare, but they also have a cushion compact I was kind of staring at. But when I saw that I could try 3 of their face masks, I was all about that. If you guys have followed my channel for any length of time, you may have heard me talk about the fact that I don't change my skincare all that often, but I love trying different masks. I'm do masks probably 3 to 4 times a week, targeting different zones or just to accomplish different things, be it exfoliating or nourishing or hydrating or clarifying. Like I'm all about the masks, right? So this one has 3 products in it. It has a bubble rose mask. So it's one of those ones that goes on, kind of looks like a clay mask and then bubbles up on you. It's a fluffy texture wash-off mask containing rose petals, creates cushiony micro bubbles to clarify and purify the skin. They also have a pore clean clay mask. So this seemed to be a clay mask, and I do like putting clay masks on when I tend to get breakouts during that lovely time of the month. It's always around my chin area and sometimes on my neck, so I really do like to do a targeted clay mask treatment in that area to help kind of clarify and clear those areas up. And then they also have a calming hydro sheet mask. This is a moisturizing sleeping mask containing calendula leaves, soothes and moisturizes your skin while you sleep, awake to a hydrated and energized complexion. So I thought all of these seemed kind of cool. I thought it would be a great way to sample a new Korean beauty brand that is at Ulta that I have never tried before. All right, let's get these out of here because they're also kind of bulky and in the way. They were doing buy 2 get 2 free on Ulta, like Bath and Body products. I don't buy a ton from that line, but they do make my absolute favorite bath bomb, and this is their coconut and almond milk relaxing bath bomb. So these retail for $6.50 each. So I don't know, kind of a little pricey for a bath bomb. Definitely not as expensive as Lush, but still a little pricey. So when they do buy 2 get 2 free on their skincare items, lotions, bath products, etc., I like to stock up on these because then I'm paying $13 for 4 of them, and that seems a lot more reasonable to me. So I did pick up 4 more of these. Okay, so I was just looking in that box and I realized there's actually 3 items that I picked up at my local Walgreens. So let's go through those. So they did end up having these limited edition Almay prismatic palettes. So if you watch my roundup of Almay and what they launched for spring, you would have seen me talk about this little purpley duochrome palette that I thought looked really, really cool. I have only swatched it. I have not put it on my eyeballs yet, but I am kind of excited to play around with this guy. The other ones, kind of like I predicted, didn't really call to me as much, but I love these pinky purple shades anyway. It's one of my favorite all over lid shades when I want a colorful look, so I'm excited to play with this. And then the thing that I was probably more excited about was new release from Revlon, which is not words I utter often, but they released more of their cream eyeshadows. So if you watched my Best of Beauty for 2017, you would have seen that one of my favorite new products that got released last year was from Revlon, and they were the potted cream eyeshadows that had these sort of brushes in the top here of the lid that kind of slid in. And my biggest observation was that it really did apply better with this brush than with your finger, which is not usually the case with cream eyeshadows. So they released, I think it was 6 new shades in a bold collection, and I picked up 2 of them. The first one I don't necessarily think is all that bold. In fact, it's kind of a taupey silvery color. So this is the shade 805 Stardust. One that seems a little more satiny than I expected is the other shade I got, which is 835 Emerald. Definitely a pretty green, but I kind of wish it was more metallic like the other one. So I don't know how much I'm going to end up loving this guy, but the first shade I'm like gaga for, so I will definitely keep you posted on these 2 items here. Okay, so these 2 items are just strange to me. Like, might be the go down as the strangest product I've tried this year. So these are from L'Oreal. These are their Magic Pigments. These are powder to cream texture for easy blending. They released lip versions, and I think there were 6 of them, and then they released eye versions. So it looks like your old traditional pigment. You take the cap off, and it's got a stopper in here, so I definitely like that about it. Reminds me of the MAC Pigments in that respect. Very loose, like this is completely loose. I'm shaking it around. It's a powder, but when you tap off some in the back of your hand, and you rub it around with your finger, it turns into a cream. It's so weird. Like, it's so strange. I have not put this on my eyeballs yet. I will say I picked up 2 shades. This is the shade Retro, which is sort of a light taupey color. And then I also picked up the shade Temptress, which is more of a burgundy with a gold shift in it. This one seems a little thinner as I've swatched it than this one. This one seems a little more patchy than this one. It's bizarre. Like, it's super bizarre. So once again, I'm not entirely sure the best way to apply these. I've not even put them on my eyeballs yet. I've just swatched them on the back of my hand because I was super curious. I did that in the parking lot because I was like, what is this? And then I swatched it obviously for this video here so you guys could see the close-ups. These were not cheap. I bought them buy one and get one half off at the store, but I want to say these were like 14 bucks. So this better blow my freaking mind or I may be doing an Ulta return. I picked up one MAC lipstick. This is a cream sheen in Nothing to Wear. I can't remember what collection this is. It's the one that's kind of got that like oil slick looking packaging, but I saw Tara Babies swatch this one and I really liked the look of it. I hadn't planned on getting any of them. I will say this sort of oil slick lipstick bullet is really pretty. I have not put this on my lips yet. I have just swatched it. I think the color looks really pretty though, so excited to see this, but this is definitely a YouTube made me buy it / Tara Babies haul made me buy it. Okay, so Essence Metal Shock eyeshadows. I reviewed these as part of my roundup of Essence products for spring. I will link that video down below. In there, I said I was going to collect all of these. I still intend to do that, but the shade I probably regret the most not owning at this point was Stars and Stories. So I did pick this one up, even though it wasn't on sale. I said I was going to wait for buy one, get one half off. Look at me with the willpower. This is just a really pretty mauve-y pink shade with a ton of silver glitter in it. Love these kinds of shades on my lid. Love this formula. Probably one of my favorite liquid eyeshadows ever. Okay, so another little baby eyeshadow. I broke down and got one of these. So this is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Rose Palette. So the rose packaging is beautiful. It looks kind of like a rose gray marble on the front. It opens like this and has a giant mirror at the top. And I got this one because it is a really pretty cool tone palette. The one thing I'm already noticing about this palette is that I kind of wish they had changed the 2 top shades here. So this is just like a cream base. This one has ever just a hint more color to it, so it's a very light taupey color, so I kind of feel like I'm going to end up mixing this one and this one together to get my perfect crease shade. That's fine. Feels nice and creamy. I'm on the prowl for good cool toned palettes because I feel like we have been warm town central and I do like a good cool tone palette. I think it's really pretty. So I will keep you posted on this guy. If I do end up liking this one, don't be surprised if I end up before now and the end of the haul review time picking up the other one that I had my eye on, which I think, oh, I can't remember which one it was now. I hope I saved that in my favorites. I swatched another one in the store and I thought, oh, okay, if I like this, I might want to try this one too. So yeah, excited for this one. Okay. Ulta has a new blush formula out. So this is their Ulta Beauty. This is their Flushed Blush Natural Finish. I picked up the shade Peach Swirl. It is interesting. They've built it with this little indent so you can easily pop this out and put it in a magnetic palette if you want. I will say the shade is darker than I thought it was going to be. Ulta's pictures online, man, somebody in their marketing department, get on it. Like, color match your screenshots better. I'm quite certain that whoever photographs their makeup is probably getting it perfectly the right tone, but something is happening with the Ulta website and the colors are always off on their photos. It drives me nuts sometimes. The shade Peach Swirl seemed to have like a light sort of shift to it that I thought was really pretty. I will say it looks a little lighter swatched and blended out on the skin than it does in this pan. When I first got this, I thought, ooh, that's darker than I thought it was going to be. But now having swatched it, I think it's going to be a really nice color. It definitely has a nice glowy appearance on the skin, and I really think it feels nice and creamy. So I'm excited to play around with this new blush product. Yes, Essence Water Kiss. So this is not a new formula for me, but this is a new color. This is the color Deep Sea Love. It's a really pretty corally red color. I tried this formula as part of my spring roundup for Essence. Really was excited to try more of them. I tried the purpley shade and I said in that video it smelled like grape, and I wondered if the scent changed between color to color. It does not. It still smells kind of like grape Kool-Aid. That's what I think of when I smell it. I liked this formula. If you want to hear all my thoughts and see how the existing shade I had swatched, make sure you check out that Essence video. But I wanted to try another color, so I'm excited to have this sort of reddish coral color in my life. I did pick up the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. So I've never tried this foundation up until probably 3 months ago when I got a sample at Sephora. I wanted to try the foundation. So many people love it. So many people hate it. I kind of thought I was going to hate it, which is why I got the little kind of mini sample thing. I actually traveled with that little mini sample thing. So look at me being brave, taking an unknown foundation out on the road with me. And I was shocked at how much I liked it. I didn't feel like it was cakey. I didn't feel like it was heavy. Now, I have also heard that they have reformulated this, and a lot of people who used to love it now hate it. So I can't compare old versus new formula. I can only speak to current formula and tell you that at least the way I applied it, which was a thin layer, kind of, I would get a little bit dotted on my face, kind of smear it around roughly, and then take a beauty blender and blend it in. It never looked cakey. It never looked heavy. It never did any of those things that people always complained about. And those are like major no-nos for me. I hate heavy, cakey, clumpy foundation. Like it's not a favorite of mine. I loved it so much that I bought a full bottle of it. I ended up getting the shade 1C1 Cool Bone. I think this is a pretty good color match for me as well. I do hate that there's not a pump, but the thing that kind of blew me away was how well this foundation looked on my skin after like 15, 16 hours of wear, walking in humid climates, going through airplane rides. Like, I ran this thing through the gamut of potential environments and stress and dry conditions and hot conditions and humid conditions, and like, it was just amazing. It looked the same on my skin at the end of the day that it did at the beginning. So I'm kind of a believer at this point. I would say if you tried it, you know, in years past and you didn't like it, I might consider going in. I know I bought this at Ulta, but I might consider going into Sephora and asking them for a sample of this and trying it out for a few days and see how you feel about it. It might be one of those foundations that if you built it up to full coverage would look heavier and cakier. I definitely was getting a solid medium out of it the way I applied it, but I could definitely see that potentially if you built this up, maybe that's when you start having problems with it. I don't know. I was just very impressed enough to put this at the top of my foundation buy list. So yeah, this is now part of my collection. All right, let's move to a non-Ulta Beauty purchase. So I broke down and got one of the M Cosmetics. These are her new True Gloss Volumizing Lip Glosses. I got the shade Magic Hour, which is a really pretty pinky color. So I have to say, I've been really impressed with the new M Cosmetics kind of relaunch. So when they first launched, they launched 2 liquid eyeliners, either a felt tip or a brush tip. She's put a lot of time and energy on the design of those products. And then she also launched, what are they, the lip clouds. So it's a liquid lipstick that's a little more mousse-like, super comfortable. Lovely formula. I bought one of those to try it. I think I've ended up purchasing 2 more shades. So I did want to try this new volumizing lip gloss. I tried one shade because I wanted to get a sense for how I felt about it first before purchasing a lot of them. She does have free shipping all the time, so buying this one lip gloss, you're not paying extra shipping. One lip gloss, free shipping. Love that about her. Packaging on this, freaking stunning. Lightly frosted bottle, but not so much that you can't see the shade. Beautiful top to this. Love the design. The aesthetic of this brand is just stunning. And then this formula, I've worn this like 3 days this week. I got it, I put it on, I fell in love, and then I wore it the next 3 days straight. I like this color a lot. It's a very warm, peachy nude that's really brightening on the skin, but it's not milky or chalky looking on their lips. It is a really cool formula. I can't possibly describe it in this video and do it justice, but go watch Kathleen Light's kind of description and try-on video if you want to see all of the shades swatched on somebody's lips and hear a really in-depth thought on it. The only thing I'm not loving about it at this point is it does have a strange scent. I definitely get vanilla, but I'm also getting like rubber hose. I don't know. It's like a vanilla rubber hose. I will say once it's on my lips, I'm not really noticing it, so it's really only during the application process that I'm like, that's an odd scent. But it's not so gross or weird that I'm like unwilling to use these. So yeah, really cool formula. Okay, I swear we're getting to the bottom of the box. So, couple more Ulta products. So one that's new, this is their metallic cream eyeshadow. They also released a matte version of this. I wanted to try one shade of this. So this is the shade Breakdance. It's a really pretty taupey silver color. One of my favorite all over lid shades, so wanted to give this a whirl. Upon first swatchy application of it, it definitely seems to be nicely pigmented. It has kind of a strange wand that pulls out a ton of product when you first pull it out. Hopefully you guys can see that there, but it definitely ends up with like a lot of product right at the very tippy top of that doe foot. But you can definitely spread it around pretty easily. It feels really creamy, seems really nice, so we'll see how this applies to the eyes. And then the other cream product I picked up from Ulta is something I have tried before. This is their cream eyeshadows. They have some lovely, lovely shades in this. Definitely reminds me of the MAC Paint Pots or the Maybelline, what others, the Color Tattoos. I picked up the shade Opal because I thought it was a pretty sort of lilac-y pink shade. I didn't have anything like this in my collection from other brands, so playing around with this should be a lot of fun. One other Walgreens product I picked up that I have not tried yet. So this is the Maybelline Lasting Matte Drama Liner. This is in a really interesting color. I've not seen anyone at the drugstore do a red liner before, maybe outside of NYX. This is Rusty Terracotta. It's a really cool brick red shade, and I just thought this would be so much fun to play around with. This seems very creamy upon first application just on the back of my hand, so definitely excited to play with this. I just think a red liner could be a lot of fun. There was a Marc Jacobs red liner that I've hemmed and hawed with forever, so if this is a good liner, this might be a good alternative at a drugstore price. And then I tried a new NYX lip product. This is their Slip Tease Lip Lacquer. This is the shade Decadent. I'll be curious to see how sticky this potentially feels on my lips. I have a love-hate relationship with some lip lacquers. I definitely feel like they're a product that works the best when you're dealing with light shades versus those deeper shades. It feels very thick and creamy. Having not put this on my lips yet though, I don't know if this is going to feel sticky or too thick. So the color I think looks really nice. Nice medium pinky nude. So definitely a color that if this formula is going to work at all, a color like this is the best chance it has. My opinion. Did get a couple of free gifts at Ulta, so I picked up my birthday gift, which is a mini orgasm blush. I used to own this blush years ago. I ended up decluttering it because it was just looking really old. The NARS soft matte packaging can get kind of grody over time, so I never really repurchased it because although I liked the shade, it wasn't like a screaming standout favorite. I know it is a cult classic, but I don't know. I just never really went gaga for it, so I am super happy to have this little mini sample in my life, and now I have it for comparison swatches. You know, it's funny now looking at it, you see a lot more of those shimmery glitter particles in there than I remember. Birthday gift was this little baby NARS Orgasm, at least in my store. I don't know if these are changing from month to month, but then the other thing that they gave me for my birthday is from the Ulta Beauty collection. It came with a little juice infused lip oil, which I do like this formula of, and then this completely ridiculous lip mask. I don't know. I think I may put this on just to freak out out my husband one night and see what he says. So this was kind of your birthday gift, so I thought this was a good little combo. And then I hit Diamond while I was at the store, but they were out of the free gift. So the whole Diamond experience so far with Ulta has been a complete cluster. I kind of feel like I may want to do a separate video just kind of ranting and raving, maybe during a Get Ready With Me about that program. But they were out of your welcome gift for hitting Diamond, so point strike against them. I will say the girls at my store are actually really good. The store closest to me has fabulous associates. The next closest store by me has absolute crap associates. So the Ulta experience can vary greatly based on who is staffing that store. It's probably given in any retailer, but they definitely went out of their way to try and like recover and apologize that they didn't have the gift. So they gave me a Philosophy gift with purchase. It had this little bag and it had a bunch of little Philosophy mini samples in here. I have loved a lot of Philosophy products, so this was a nice little ad. And then they also gave me this little buxom makeup bag that they had back there. I think my stepdaughter might really like this, so I may be passing that her direction. But so if I get my hands on the Diamond gift rather, I will let you know what the heck it is. I was totally curious to see and I still don't know. So in theory, they will be emailing me when they get more of the gifts in stock. And yeah, I'll let you know. Everything I purchased in a bunch of different places, mostly Ulta, but all over the place. Tons of new stuff to play around with. Let me know down in the comments what you are most excited about. If you want me to do any dedicated palette reviews or dedicated looks with palettes, happy to do that. Once again, not a makeup artist, but definitely love playing around with eyeshadow. That is all for now. I will update you guys in a few weeks after I have tried these all on my face and I have some formed opinions. I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.